It does not seem too long ago that I was sitting here doing a video, delighted that Lucas Paqueta had been found innocent of the betting allegations that have clouded him and the football club and us for 2 years, wasn't it? 2 years the whole thing went on for, which was a nightmare for him as a player, obviously for the club and everyone connected. It was just a real worrying time. And it just felt like a cloud that was always hanging over, particularly the player. But just as I say, everyone with West Ham, it just felt like it was never going away. And it always felt like he was going to end up being found guilty. Of course, he ended up getting found innocent. And like many, I was very happy about it. And I did feel, and I said it at the time, I think we're going to see the best of Lucas Paqueta now. Now that that cloud has parted and now the weight's off his shoulders, we're going to see the best of him because, like many, I've been giving him a little bit of a free pass, best part of 2 years, because I've been feeling a bit sorry for him and thinking, well, he's got a reason that he's not playing at his best level. There's a reason why we're not getting the best out of Lucas Paqueta. And yes, look, there's issues at West Ham. By the way, I'm really not trying to take it away from the fact that West Ham have got a lot of issues. So I'm not trying to pin everything on Paqueta, right? But he has not delivered, especially in that time. And think back to when we first signed him and the impact he was making, maybe not right at the beginning because he took a little bit of time to get up to speed, but once he got up to speed, we started seeing some really impressive displays from him and showing that he could be a real key player for West Ham. Of course, then this betting allegation stuff. I mean, so much so that he was doing so well for West Ham that Man City came in and said, well, we're having him. You know, he was on the cusp of joining Man City and we were on the cusp of getting Cole Palmer. So, you know, oh well. But of course, then the allegations surfaced, and then it also, you know, I'm not going to go through that again. But I feel like, certainly myself, but I think a lot of West Ham fans have given him a bit of a free pass the last couple of years because of that and felt quite sorry for him, and rightly so, because he's been found innocent. But I'm going to be honest, I don't think that what I said back then in terms of when he got found innocent that we were going to see the best at Paqueta, I don't think it's happened. I don't think anything has changed actually in terms of Lucas Paqueta and West Ham. I feel, and this is just my personal opinion, and anyone can say what they want and can disagree with me or whatever, but it's just my personal opinion. We're all entitled to it. I think he's an overrated player for West Ham. I think he has been overall on the ground. You know, if you look at the big picture, I think he's been a disappointment for us. I don't think he delivers enough at all. I think there's far too many occasions in games where he spends it doing things that I don't see how it helps us. I think he slows up play a lot of the time. I think I just find him very frustrating. I find him a really frustrating player, especially because you know how good he is. You know the ability he's got, you know, the qualities he's got. And you just think, why can't you deliver? Why can't you step up and be that player, the player that we need you to be? And I think far too often we don't see it. Always trying to do the Hollywood pass and trying to do something really, you know, flicks and tricks and stuff when it just doesn't. It's not needed. We just need a really good player. And you know, look, I'm not trying to suggest, by the way, that the reason we're in the position that we are now is down to Lucas Paqueta. But I've said for a long time, and I include a lot of players in this, that we've got players that don't step up to the plate, especially our big name players. Let's not forget, Lucas Paqueta is West Ham's record signing. I think talking £50 million investment here, without even including the high wages. He is an expensive player. And you've only got to look at his stats. I've got him out before. He's played 130 games for West Ham, or 130 appearances, 21 goals. All right, look, you might say, well, he's not really known as being a goal scorer. So, all right, I can maybe lean off that. 14 assists. 14 assists in 130 games. It's just not good enough. I'm sorry. That is not good enough. You cannot look at those stats and go, that is a £50 million Brazil superstar. It's just not. It's not good enough. And the reason I'm talking, by the way, about Lucas Paqueta is because the news has broken. I think it came out last night on the Times, saying that Paqueta wants to leave West Ham. He wants to leave West Ham in January. I think that's poor from him. I know he, by the way, has subsequently put out a social media post soon after. Basically, it was a picture of him and his kids in West Ham gear on the London Stadium pitch, right? So I know that what he's trying to do there is trying to sort of say, ignore it. This is the truth. I just want to make it clear that when Paqueta did the whole phone thing, don't go on, great to see, because it was a great day as well. We beat Nottingham Forest, we had that one game we've won all season. Paqueta wanted to leave. Let's get this straight. Paqueta wasn't rejecting any moves. He wanted to go to Aston Villa. West Ham just couldn't get the deal done. That's why they weren't. The terms weren't agreeable to us, because we wanted the money up front because we needed to spend the money, and it was too late in the window as well because West Ham leave everything lastminute.com anyway. So that's something separate. But Paqueta wanted to leave. I don't blame him, by the way. I've got no problems with that. If I was in Paqueta's shoes and someone said, "Do you want to go Villa?" I'd be like, "Yes." I'd much rather be there than here because that looks far more promising than being at this place. So I've got no problem with that. But what I want to make clear is the kind of indication that Paqueta gave, I felt, was as if to say, "Oh, no, that was all rubbish. I'm staying here." I don't believe ever that was the case. It just, the deal just didn't happen. And now it materialised that he wants to leave. So I'm not surprised. I'm not sitting here going, "I can't." But really, Paqueta wants to leave West Ham? No, I'm you know, I'm not shocked at all. That's fine. And if I've got to be honest, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. If anything, I'd quite like to see him go because if it means we're going to get some money in and it can go towards spending in January, which could hopefully spearhead our survival. By the way, I'm not confident of this, but I'm just saying, if we are in a position that we need to go and spend some money in January, i.e. on a couple of players to bring in to get Nuno's team into shape, and Paqueta's got to fund it, I'm more than happy with that. I don't think we see enough of Paqueta. I don't think he delivers enough for West Ham. And as I say, I think on the whole, I think he's been a disappointment. Yeah, it's a real shame, and it's come from the Times as well. It's not like it's a Daily Star sort of comment or the Daily Sport or whatever. This is, it's very credible. So I'm sure there is truth to it that he wants to leave. And as I say, look, please don't think I'm sitting there, I can't believe he wants to leave. I don't blame him at all. I'm surprised we kept him really for this season. I was always aware that he wanted to go, and obviously when he got found innocent, I was very much sure that he would be gone. And I think he wanted to. It'd be interesting to see who comes in for him, whether Villa make another move for him. Of course, they got Harvey Elliott. Now, we would have got Harvey Elliott. Had we ever done a deal with Villa, we would have got Harvey Elliott instead this summer. I'm certain of that. He just ended up going there. Yeah, it's a shame with Paqueta. I'm gutted it is the way it is, but I've always felt that we've not got the best out of him, and he's not juiced enough for West Ham. I really don't think he's done enough at times. And don't get me wrong, he's brought some magic as well. I'm not knocking the things he has brought. Obviously, famously, the final, that ball to Bowen. I'll be forever grateful to that. That was an amazing moment and stunning pass from him. He's got the ability. We know that. We've seen Paqueta produce. He has got the ability. The problem is it's not consistent. You're talking one in 7 or 8 games, you get a really good performance out of him. Most of the time, it's just, I find frustrating. I find most of the time I'm watching Paqueta thinking, why are you acting like that? Why are you playing like this? Why do you keep making like these silly decisions on a pitch, trying to do something over the top and flaring when we're desperately trying to go and get a goal, trying to grab a hold of the game, and we've got a guy that rolls around the floor and all that kind of stuff. Honestly, I'm really disappointed in him as a player. I really am. And I feel like this whole free pass he's had for the last couple of years, it's gone for too long now. And I think it's about time he sort of, the truth be spoken about him, that he has been a disappointment. That's just my view. Some people will disagree with me. I know that. And you're more than entitled to. So feel free to leave your comments. So that's my feelings on that. I think West Ham will look to sell him personally. I think we will. If that's going to spearhead some spending in January, then if I'm West Ham now, I'd start trying to get the deal done now, whether it be Villa or wherever he's going to go. Hopefully not to someone like Tottenham or Arsenal, though. Ideally send him abroad. That's what you want to do. Get him over to Saudi. That's where I'd like to see him go. Get the money in and then move on. I did say as well I want to talk about Nuno, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well now. In terms of what we've got from ex-director employee, which was basically that there is confusion at West Ham with regards to Nuno. There is a lot of concern over what we're seeing at the moment from him. He is not delivering either as manager. He's letting us down. Let's get it right. I mean, we've brought in Nuno, an experienced and successful Premier League manager, knows the league inside out. He knows how to play games. He's just bloody took Nottingham Forest to Europe. Nottingham Forest were a whisker away from getting Champions League football. And like many, I'm just baffled by it. He's coming, first game at Everton, promising. We looked more organised. We played well. We got a draw. We could have won that game. We went away to Goodison, the old Dickinson Hill, where it's called Stadium. And I thought we played well. I thought we did play well. It just feels like we've gone backwards under him. I don't know what this squad experimentation is all about. The players are confused. The players don't understand it like we don't. They don't understand what he's trying to implement here. And it's worrying, very, very worrying. The coaches, I've said it about here. Why aren't the coaches saying to it? Apparently they have and said to him, what are you doing? They don't agree with what he's trying to do. I can only hope and pray that what unfolded at Leeds off the back of what unfolded against Brentford is enough to make Nuno go, what am I doing? This just isn't right. I'm not convinced. I'm going to be honest. I know people keep saying, well, he won't do that again. Well, we said that against after Brentford, didn't we? We said against after Brentford, he will not put that team out again. He can't afford to. And then he got closer to the time, I've got the tip that he was going to stick with the same squad. He was going to go for something similar. I'm very worried. Very worried because we are going into a Newcastle game now. The morale is on the floor. Belief is on the floor. He has to get a result. We have to get something against Newcastle. We lose to Newcastle, we're done. If we lose to Newcastle and beat Burnley, all right. Is there a chance? I'm not confident of anything. I'm really not when it comes to West Ham at all this season. But we've got to start showing some fight, and we need Nuno to deliver now. Do you know what I mean? There's no more excuses. This guy has been brought in to sort this team out, to get this team organised and get us the results. It shouldn't be that hard. I get that we're an unbalanced team. I get that we've got loads of issues in the squad. I'm not trying to suggest that he's come into a fantastic situation here. He hasn't. But there's enough in that team. There's enough in there. Look, just do the basics. Defend. Learn to defend. And just grind out results. That should be enough. If we can do that until January, then we're in for half a chance. But Nuno's got to sort this out. The club are concerned, and rightly so, like us fans. Obviously, the news has also come out. I talked about this yesterday's video anyway, regarding Ollie Scholes. Ollie Scholes had operation on his collarbone. He's going to be out to 2 to 3 months. It's a serious injury. Dare I say it might be a positive in terms. I've got to be really careful how I word that because that's really harsh on Scholes because I love Scholes and he's going to be a player for West Ham. I'm sure of it. And he's already obviously stamped his mark on the first team anyway in recent seasons. But I think he has got a big future at West Ham. But in terms of what we're trying to do at the moment, it hasn't worked, and I felt for him really being thrown in the deep end and thrown it right back off. I knew enough it was bad, but at least now it kind of takes away that Scholes situation. Like we've got to play someone else. So I'm really hoping actually that does make a difference for us. So Newcastle's massive. As I say, it's just such a big game. I'll do some more video leading into it, as it gets closer into the week and obviously more news and what have you. But Lucas Paqueta, not surprised really. I've got to be honest, and to be honest, I'm happy to see the back of him. Be interested to know what you think about it. Anyway, have a good one. Catch you later. Come on, your ones.